Hey everyone, welcome to another video, and in this video we will be talking about port of entries and when you're coming into the US, what the immigration looks like. A lot of you right now, fall 23 enrollments, you guys are coming in right now, and the biggest question is how my experience at the immigration counter will be. You already had an immigration experience at the US Visa Embassy. You will have an immigration experience when you're leaving India, when you are going through the Indian immigration, and your third immigration experience will be at the port of entry. Now, there's a lot limited places where Indian flights come in, or where international flights who are traveling from India comes in, right? So it would be SFO, Seattle Airport, Los Angeles Airport, or New York, Chicago O'Hare, and I don't even know if Texas has one, but maybe in Dallas a few flights land. But usually for East Coast, New York is a big hub. For West Coast, San Francisco or LA is the big hub. That's where the flight would land. And Chicago O'Hare is the big hub for the Midwest. Depending on which airline you take, doesn't really matter. The biggest question which I see from students is that I am gonna go to a university in a different state, but I'm entering through Chicago, let's say. Will there be any problems? Whatever your port of entry is, you cannot control that. That's controlled by the airline. Second big question I get is, I am going to a relative's place for a few days before I actually go to the university. So I'm landing in New York, but let's say I'm going to Phoenix, right? That's completely fine as well. If you're landing in New York and if you're staying at a place of your relative, and you can tell them that you will be going to Chicago, or you will be going to Texas, or whatever place your university is at, and that is completely fine. I think there's just a lot of fear going around on, I'm going to be entering into this port of entry, will there be more questions? That is not true. All of the port of entries have been same. I personally have been stopped at two port of entries. When I first was coming through Chicago, that was 2018. I was coming in after my summer breaks, and there's a lot of students coming in at that time. So I think they were just doing a regular checkup. I was in like a small room, I would say, not a small room, but there was a lot of chairs in there, but decently small as compared to the airport. And there was a lot of people sitting there. They took everybody's documents, they took their passports, they took their I-20, and they were just verifying that it's legit or not. It was 1 hour, and that was, first experience where I got stopped. My second experience happened last year. I had my visa documents. You have to have an original visa document with you. I'm not talking about the passport, I'm talking about the approval letter for people who are working here. So when I was coming in, I completely forgot that I had to take that original document, and I actually accidentally took like another document. So I had a PDF copy of it. I printed it out and had a A4 sheet. So as soon as I got to the immigration counter, they're like, hey, here's your passport and here's your document. Can you go with the officer? Can you come with us? They took me into another room. They sat me down. There was some other people. There was no Indian people, but there was like some other nationalities. And from what I gathered was those nationalities were either breaking, like they were banned from the US, or they were not supposed to be in the US. They were going to Canada, but they were not supposed to fly in through US, and that was a problem. Sometimes they just want to verify the document. In my case, that's exactly what happened. They just verified my document. It took them 20 minutes, but I was more eager to get out this time, just because I had a connecting flight which I had to make. If I would have missed that connecting flight, it would have taken me forever to get to Tucson or get to Phoenix, because usually the flights run like every 12 hours or so. So that was my two port of entry experiences where I have been stopped before. In your case, I would honestly tell you, keep your passport, keep your I-20 in your carry-on or in your backpack. Keep a lot of, like most of your visa documents as well in your carry-on if you can. Usually the immigration officer will only ask for your passport and your I-20. They will ask you questions. These are the following questions which I have been asked before. They usually ask me which university I'm going to, what course I'm studying, or in case of working situations, where I'm working, and how long I've worked for the company and what kind of role do I work with the company. Every year, so I've entered the US in 2017, in 18, in 19, in 2020 as well, right before COVID, I entered. Nothing in 2021, but in 2022, I entered the US twice, and 2023, I entered the US once. So these are all my US trips, and among all of these 8 US trips over the last 6 years, haven't had like any major problems with the port of immigration or with the port of entry. If you, in case you're taking Etihad Airlines, you will have your immigration through Abu Dhabi, which makes it super easy because at the airport you have to just go get your luggage and get out of it. I really like that, especially because sometimes the flights get delayed, and if your flight's getting delayed, there's a lot of people in immigration, and getting immigration down in Abu Dhabi just makes it so much easier if you have a connecting flight after you get into the US. Hope this video was useful. It was a quick one, but if you have any questions regarding port of entry, please comment down below and I'll be able to help you out. Thank you so much guys for watching this one. I have a few guides about arrival and pre-purchase guide. I'm gonna leave all those links in the description and you can check it out. Alright, take it easy, take care.